and good feeling of fellowship. Bless this time together. That we understand something better about art, about the joy of being together and learning about living in this world as Easter people. And to you be the glory. Amen. Amen.
All right. Welcome to our Handbell Spring Annual Concert. We're really happy to see each and every one of you here. Hopefully you all got your fill of lasagna and are all set for the musical journey ahead. Our choirs start preparing music for our concert in the fall, and we are always excited to share the result of our labors and rehearsals with you all. Every so often, a year comes in which we get to celebrate the graduation of many of our youth choir at the same time. This year, congratulations are due to Caitlin, Kathleen, Rihanna, Aloe, and Curtis, and we'll be recognizing them throughout the evening. As they begin their own hero's journey, it is appropriate to start our concert with the theme to Star Wars from 1977. May the Force be with you all. thank you all. That was Here Comes the Sun, written by George Harrison in 1969, while skipping a Beatles business meeting, which he was bored of at the time. He wrote the piece in early spring at Eric Clapton's house, in a feeling of hopefulness for the future after a very long, cold, lonely winter. Our next piece, Capriccio, is a wholly original piece written and composed by Kevin McChesney, who is kind of a giant in the handbell world. He's got over 450 pieces in print currently. A Capriccio is a piece of music that is usually energetic, free form, and somewhat unexpected in an unpredictable nature. All right, thank you all again as we swap out choirs. Again, that was Capriccio, coming from the Italian caprice, which is something meaning prank or caper or fanciful or whimsical. So that was a whimsical, fanciful piece. Our next piece this evening is Reverberations, also an original bell arrangement composed by Sally Lloyd. It captures the essence of the handbell as an instrument and empowers choirs to highlight their technique, musicality, and unity in performing on one instrument as 9 or more individual people. The reverberation of handbells varies from one foundry to another, so for those of you who don't know, our handbells are from the Whitechapel foundry in England, and they resonate on, or reverberate on 8 octaves. So if you look at that compared to English handbells, which are from Malmark or Schirmlerich, they resonate on 6 octaves, which is a little bit of a brighter sound. Ours are more deeper and fuller. We're a little biased, we like the Whitechapels a little better. Is Rihanna ready? Or do we gotta keep going? All right, we got lots more stuff for me to talk about. So, reverberations, so similar to a sustain pedal on an organ or a piano, a reverberation is used to create a great atmospheric effect, such as like stormy weather or calm, peaceful mornings beside a clear creek. It can also be the triumphant start of a new day heralded by bird song and a swift sunrise. For those of you who have played organ or piano, or listened to people learning piano and organ, you'll realize that too much sustain or reverberation can lead us away from a clear flowing river to a muddy mess. In order to avoid this mess, in handbell music there's a unique marking called the let vibrate marking, which directs ringers to avoid cutting off or damping the sound from particular bells in particular measures. Listen now as Sally Lloyd deftly uses this marking to guide our ringers, highlighting the impact of one note and one ringer upon the whole. Beyond the fun of ringing and the joy of playing with our friends, playing handbells truly teaches us to be part of the whole, to use our efforts and work to create something that is larger than any individual, and to be of service and in service to each other and to something far greater than ourselves. Wow. Well done, y'all. That was really good. Really, really good. As you can see, they all work together to play one instrument, which is the most unique element of the handbell choir, is they're all playing between 3 to 7, sometimes more, notes in the treble, and we all come together and create a piece of music as one unit. I'll now introduce the members of Ring. So we have Rihanna Wismer, Cameron Wismer, Kathleen Hobbs, Caitlin Reese, Curtis Reese, Emmy Dutcher, Zen Dutcher, and Aloe Myers, and they are under the direction of Janet Smith and Eileen Gilbert. Their next piece this evening will be Korobianiki, which should be familiar to a lot of you. Anyone who's played Tetris will recognize it immediately. The original piece is a Russian folk song, first printed in 1861, although the song itself dates back much farther than that. It was adopted in 1989 as the theme music for Tetris, and is strategically well fit to the slowly increasing pressure on the player over time as the bricks start falling faster and faster. All right, thank you, Ring. We're not going to be swapping out choirs again. We're constantly shuffling up here tonight. Our next piece is The Lion Sleeps Tonight, which has a long and colorful history. It was originally titled Mbube, the Zulu word for lion, and written by Solomon Linda, a South African Zulu singer. The song was originally recorded in 1939 and was very improvisational in nature. The piece that we hear now was adapted 20 years later by the Tokens and George Weiss and featured the third recording that Solomon Linda made back in 1939. Don't fear, the lion sleeps tonight. All right. Next up, I'll go ahead and introduce the radical ringers who are at the table now. We have Carolyn Reese, Amy Hobbs, Susan Newman, Carol Shannon, Colleen Wismer, Shelley Stovall, Kayla Matheson, Rihanna Wismer, Ty Stovall, Letty Stovall, who's on maternity leave currently. I'm Colin King, and we are under the direction of Eileen Gilbert. And for this piece, we are under the direction of Susan Newman. Our next piece is And So It Goes by Billy Joel. This is the problem of pulling double duty. I'm not always ready. much. That song was originally written in 1983, although it was not released for 6 more years. It features a meditative reflection by Billy Joel on the wisdom accumulated throughout his long relationships. Our next piece, Eleanor Rigby, continues our theme of hard-earned wisdom. Recorded in the 1966 album Revolver, Eleanor Rigby is evidence of the Beatles' continued evolution from a straight rock and roll band to a more experimental studio group. The double quartet of strings on this piece, along with its examination of loneliness, were in stark contrast to popular music at that time. Paul McCartney was originally inspired to write this song by a friendship that he had with a much older woman when he was a boy. He initially met this woman as part of the Bob a Job Week, in which scouts would do chores around the neighborhood for a shilling. Over time, he developed a longer relationship with this woman and helped her get groceries and would go over and just talk with her and listen to the radio, an old crystal radio. And he said that he gained a lot of his wisdom and inspiration for many of his songs through that relationship. All right. Well done, Ring. That song is particularly challenging because it's very syncopated. It's translating the rhythm guitar, lead guitar, and vocals onto handbells. And they did a great job at that. Our next one, we're going to pick up the energy a little bit with Dancing Queen, the lead single to ABBA's 1976 album Arrival, which went on to become the band's only #1 hit in the US. Dancing Queen catapulted ABBA into international superstardom, and the song itself transcended the disco genre, remaining popular far longer due to its infectious optimism, vocals, and rhythm. Any more time? Okay. I can tap dance. I talked about Kevin McChesney earlier. McChesney really is one of the giants of the handbell world. He's based in Boulder, Colorado. Several of our pieces are written or arranged by him. He graduated from University of Colorado in Boulder with a Bachelor of Music in Composition and Theory. He's one of the few full-time handbell composers, and as I said, he has more than 450 pieces out for handbells currently, so we use him a lot. We actually have been under his direction directly at some of our mass ringing events in about a decade ago. McChesney led one of our mass ringing events, which was really exciting for our choirs to learn directly from him. He's a very energetic individual, and he's a lot of fun to get to know on that level. He also currently directs the audition community choir, the Pikes Peak Ringers, and is still in Boulder, Colorado. So if you're ever in Colorado, check out the Pikes Peak Ringers. All right. Thank you to Ty and Letty Stovall, our dancing queen and king, for giving us all disco fever. All right, our next piece this evening is Hakuna Matata. What a wonderful phrase. From the 1995 Disney masterpiece, The Lion King, Elton John and Tim Rice found the term in a Swahili phrase book, which roughly translates to no trouble, no worries, or take it easy. The upbeat song performed in the movie by Timon and Pumbaa calls upon Simba to forget his troubles and live in the present moment, something that we can all adhere to a little more these days.
I'm sorry, I don't do microphones very well. First, I want to do some thank yous that aren't included in the program. First of all, I didn't directly thank the bell ringers who come and practice every week and work hard and put up with all of the challenges that come with trying to make music on one instrument with 10 people, because it is challenging. So thank you first to my bell ringers. Thank you also to Zen Dutcher. The Bell Wars crawl that you saw at the beginning, that was Zen's creation. I was impressed. Kelsey Luna, and I don't think Kelsey's in here, but maybe if you guys see her afterwards in the halls, is doing childcare for us tonight. She isn't in the program with a thank you. Brian Townsend and Journey for getting all the tables set up for us and helping with setup, and Brian even made my announcements for me during the dinner. Marianne and Jay Shantz are here. I've known Marianne since we grew up in Santa Fe at St. John's Methodist. But they made the chocolate cake that many of you enjoyed. St. John's United Methodist also gets a shout out today because 2 weeks ago, we broke one of our bells. Which when you break a bell, and yes, they're made of metal, but think of glass, because the metal is brittle, it can break. If you were here in our concert 2 years ago, you watched us break one. So our two bells over on the piano, yes, Cameron, so a new bell's been ordered, but meanwhile, we had a concert to play. So St. John's and Santa Fe lent us one of their Whitechapel bells so we could play tonight. And then a shout out to Kelly King. Tom King's mentioned in the program, but today's Kelly's birthday. And Kelly and Tom we recognized last year because Colin, who's our MC, he was 8 years old when he started ringing, and the Kings have supported our program ever since. And quite frequently, it's ended up on Kelly's birthday. So, happy birthday, Kelly. Okay, now I want to recognize our seniors, and I'll get to you guys in a second, but first I'm going to recognize someone else who started ringing with us in 2005, who at that time only had one small child. Since then, she's had a couple more that you see up here. In 2008, she started the bell choirs at Morning Star. And a few years after that, she came back to ring with us again. Colleen now has one child who's out of school and working and in Phoenix. She has another one who's going to college in Albuquerque and one still in high school here. And she said she can't manage the bell schedule in addition to the personal schedule. So Colleen is going to leave us, and I just wanted to thank her for all the years. And I meant to take it out of the box. So you want to take it out of the box? So just something to, sometimes when you throw some keys in there or something, think of us. There's someone else who started ringing with us almost 20 years ago in 2006, who also says this is her last year with me. So in 2006, Janet started playing with the Radical Ringers before they were even known as the Radical Ringers. She was there in February of 2012 when we decided we were the Radical Ringers. In 2014, she helped me start a chime choir. And a couple of those kids you watched earlier were in that first chime choir. That was in 2014. She has gone to festivals. She has gone on retreats. She has done concerts. She has done multiple rehearsals, and she's given me valuable advice and direction and calming down throughout that entire time. So we have something special for you, Janet. And it has two things on it. First, it has the Radical Ringer logo because you were a Radical Ringer. And it has 8 hearts down the sleeve for the 8 young people over there who love you dearly. And now that I made her cry, Curtis and Aloe and Kathleen and Caitlin and Rihanna, come here. They all wrote their bios, and they're an impressive group of children. And I will call them children because I've known them since they were children. when they didn't stand this tall, when, well, I'll pick on poor Caitlin. The first time they played a processional in church, they were playing on the chimes. She was behind her brother, Curtis. All the way down the aisle, it was like... But they've grown up, and they've stuck with it, and they have become exceptional musicians, as well as exceptional young people. The way we came up with our theme for the concert this year was A New Hope. There's our hope, standing right there. And they are. They're all going forth to do wonderful things. Rihanna's going to UNM in Albuquerque studying nursing. Caitlin wants to be a first grade teacher. I was a first grade teacher, so that's. And she'll be going to NMSU. Kathleen is the grown-up of the group because she hasn't quite decided what she wants to be when she grows up, and I think that's an admirable course to take. So take some time figuring it out. Aloe is going into journalism here at New Mexico State, and Curtis is going into computer with cybersecurity, with a focus in cybersecurity. So computer science with a focus in cybersecurity, also here at NMSU. They really are an exceptional group. So each of you are going to get today, and I'll have, so that one's Caitlin. I'm sorry, their pictures aren't the same, so it's a collage of pictures, but I have to figure out whose I'm looking at. That one's Rihanna. There's no names, and I have to look at Curtis. And I want to point out something. You've watched these guys play tonight, and they are exceptional, and their next song that's coming up in a little bit is over the top. You'll enjoy it. Aloe joined us last August. This is his first year of ringing. I'm impressed. Okay, Shane, not yet. That's okay. Yeah, you're gonna watch the slideshows in a minute. The adults are gonna play a song for you guys. One last thing for each of you as you go off. Hook it on a backpack, hook it on your belt loop. If you still carry keys or a key fob, stick that on there. What it is a pewter English handbell. So that way, every time you reach in your pocket, think of us. And Janet, when it goes back to Eleanor Rigby, they really wanted to play Eleanor Rigby. And we kept saying, there is nothing uplifting about this song. Fortunately, Colin found an uplifting story. But, remember the lonely people, the lonely old people. Okay, so you guys sit down.
All right, while we're swapping out, we do have a little recognition for our director, Eileen, from all of our ringers. Eileen's been directing our handbell choirs here for a long time. I won't say the number, but she's been here a long time, and we really appreciate her leadership every year. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you.
All right, our next piece this evening is Phantom of the Opera, inspired by Andrew Lloyd Webber's opera musical. Phantom of the Opera is the longest running show on Broadway, with nearly 14,000 performances over more than 35 years. Based on the novel by Gaston Leroux, the show tells the story of a beautiful soprano singer who becomes the obsession of a complicated, disfigured musical genius living beneath the Paris Opera House. Douglas Wagner's Handbell arrangement is one of the best handbell adaptations of a piece of popular music, which has led our UUMC choirs to play it frequently over the years, just a little less than 14,000 times. Many of our youth have chosen to perform it in their senior concerts, and I look forward to hearing it tonight. Thank you all for coming out to support our handbell choirs at UUMC, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your evening.
They were the ones who broke it. It was don't break that.
one more? I'm hearing encore, I'm hearing encore. I don't know if they've got something ready. I don't know, they might have one ready, one more ready for us. Thank you all. I do have one more announcement, lasagna related. So we do have one regular large with 10 pieces, one gluten-free that's 3/4 full, and a veg that's half full. If anyone is interested in that lasagna, get with Eileen.